How does Byzantine architecture differ from Roman? Imagine walking into a church that feels like stepping into a different world. The soaring ceilings, shimmering mosaics, and the sense of being lifted toward the heavens all tell a story. Today, we're exploring how Byzantine architecture stands apart from Roman building styles, especially in sacred sites and churches. Both styles share roots in ancient Rome, but over time, Byzantine builders created a distinct look that reflects their faith and culture. Roman architecture was all about engineering marvels like arches, vaults, and domes. They built massive structures like the Colosseum and the Pantheon, which used concrete to support enormous spans. Early Christian churches in Rome often followed the basilica plan, a long rectangular shape with aisles and an apse at one end. These spaces were practical for large gatherings and processions. When the Roman Empire moved its capital to Constantinople, now called Istanbul, the style began to evolve. Byzantine architecture kept some Roman elements but added new features that made their sacred buildings unique. One major difference is the focus on centralized plans. Instead of long, rectangular basilicas, Byzantine churches often used the cross-and-square layout. This design centers the space around a large dome, creating a sense of harmony and unity. The dome sits over the crossing, supported by pendentives, curved triangular structures that let a round dome sit comfortably on a square base. The use of domes became a hallmark of Byzantine churches. These domes are often larger and more elaborate than Roman ones, giving the interior a feeling of openness and light. The Hagia Sophia in Istanbul is a perfect example, with its massive central dome that appears to float above the congregation. The height and scale of these domes symbolize the heavens and inspire awe. Inside, Byzantine churches are famous for their mosaics, tiny pieces of glass, stone, or gold arranged to tell stories from the Bible and depict saints. These shimmering images cover walls and ceilings, creating a luminous, mystical atmosphere that guides worshippers' thoughts upward. Unlike Roman sculpture, which was often outside or in public spaces, Byzantine mosaics inside the church serve a spiritual purpose, teaching and inspiring visitors. Materials also differ. Romans used a lot of concrete and stone, making their structures heavy and monumental. Byzantines preferred brick and marble, often arranged in decorative patterns that added texture and elegance. Their buildings are lighter in appearance but just as impressive. Culturally, Roman architecture was tied to pagan traditions and imperial power. Byzantine architecture, however, is deeply Christian. The focus shifted from grand exterior temples to inward-looking churches that draw the faithful into a sacred space. The interior becomes a spiritual cosmos, with the dome symbolizing heaven and the entire space designed to lift the spirit. For pilgrims visiting these sites, the differences are clear. Roman basilicas feel like grand halls for gathering, while Byzantine churches are designed to be awe-inspiring, almost otherworldly. The central dome and mosaics make visitors feel connected to the divine, no matter where they stand inside. These features turn Byzantine churches into destinations for spiritual journeys, where history, art, and faith come together in a single space. In short, Byzantine architecture evolved from Roman engineering but developed its own identity through the use of centralized plans, grand domes, luminous mosaics, and a focus on interior spirituality. These elements made Byzantine sacred sites not just places of worship but powerful symbols of faith and divine connection.